Hey everybody. Oh, I just wanted to make sure I had the right microphone. Oh, okay, it's not on my chin, it's on my screen. Okay. Yep. I am the lone wolf tonight. The spawn has ditched me because he had a job interview. Pardon me while I do a smidge bit of housekeeping here. The spawn has ditched me because he had a job interview. The other kiddo, cat, is still at work. They are actually closing early because we are having our first snowfall of the year, our first decent snowfall that's actually sticking. Luna, our darling big baby here, you stick your head up and say hi, pretty girl, is overjoyed because it means later this evening, even though it will be dark, it means she and mommy are going to go on walkies and go play in the snow. So, oh, you know what? I was stupid. I should not have made that full screen. I am going to do a couple of things here because, I'm a dorkfish like that. I have a topic. I simply spaced and did not make sure that I had access to it on a different screen. So I am going to do that now. Where is it? There it is. Okay. That link to myself. And then I am trying very, very, very hard to be at least somewhat organized today. Oh, but stress is a killer. And yeah, it's just been one of those days. That not everything goes the way it's supposed to. All right. Is that okay? Go back to here. Hi. Okay, now grab this because keyboard. Sit, stay. Good. I got myself a tablet stand for my birthday. And let me tell you, it has been fabulous. I am definitely not regretting that one. What is up, precious love girl? Oh, besides the fact you're... All right. Walk over him. Sarge, quit being a... I'm guessing that Luna wants out. But Sarge is laying in the walkway between the desk and the chair, and she will not step over him. Hold on. Come here, Sarge. Come here, baby. All right. She just went under my leg. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to keep Sarge in my lap for a moment. All right. Okay, what are we doing, baby? Are we good? We are good. Okay, so today's subject. I'm going to bring up this article first because it references on Christmas Day of 23. On Christmas Day of 23, so a couple of weeks ago, basically, a rabbinical scholar by the name conservative Rabbi David Wolpe published an essay in The Atlantic titled The Return of the Pagans, in which he argued for the moral and ethical superiority of monotheism. Um, hold on. I guess, as usual, I've got like 10 things going on all at the same time. And, all right. Okay. And, yeah. So, this that I'm going to read, I will try to basically give the Cliff's Notes. But, in December of 46, author and Christian apologist C.S. Lewis, we all know who C.S. Lewis is. Hey, Ash. For those of us who don't know who C.S. Lewis is, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is one of the most famous Christian stories. That's not the word I'm looking for, but yeah, there is a metric fuck ton of Christian symbology in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But okay, so C.S. Lewis published an essay in Strand magazine. Yes, Christian fantasy, that works. Titled A Christmas Sermon for Pagans, in which he argued for the moral and ethical superiority of Christianity. Sound familiar? He distinguished between pagans, quote, the backward people in the remote districts who have not yet been converted, and to whom Lewis showed a modicum of respect, albeit patronizingly, and the, quote, post-Christian men of his era to whom his sermon was directed. Okay, so then, as I just said, on Christmas Day of last year, which seems so funny to say, David Wolpe published his essay in The Atlantic titled The Return of the Pagans, in which he argued for the moral and ethical superiority of monotheism. Unlike Lewis, it is unclear just what Wolpe meant by pagans, because he uses, and I cannot believe I'm about to use these two names because I despise them both, he uses Donald Trump and Elon Musk as his contemporary examples of pagans, both of whom are incredibly irreligious. Neither one of them are particularly religious men. One of them has openly mocked religion, and the other one openly mocked religion. So paganism for Wolpe appears to mean whatever I don't like. So, needless to say, the contemporary pagan community is rather outraged and shocked. We expect this sort of shit from Fox News or some fundy publication, but The Atlantic, they are generally a progressive editorial type. A person by the name of Manny Moreno from The Wild Hunt spoke for many of us in his editorial titled The Atlantic Publishes Another Attack on Pagans. Where are pagan voices in its pages? There haven't been many, if any. Holly Amore, I cannot remember how to pronounce her name. I do apologize if I have mispronounced it. The executive director of Cherry Hill Seminary and someone who has devoted considerable efforts towards interfaith work, managed to contact Rabbi Wolpe. His reply? Well, the article did not and does not address the current pagan communities, nor was it intended to. But yet he titled his essay The Return of the Pagans. So if it was not intended to address the current pagan community, why did he call it that? Her request for dialogue was also rejected. I have read her essay about this. I don't remember where I found it. I believe I found it at the Cherry Hill Seminary website. I'm going to hunt down more links on this to share on my Facebooks. So keep an eye out. If I don't, please remind me, because we all know Di gets distracted. Pagan has a meaning. In his sermon, C.S. Lewis asked at the time, "Are there any pagans in England for me to write to?" Now, we're going to flip back, that's what I'm looking for, to the beginning of this, and note, he wrote this in December of 1946. So, a few people had been describing themselves as pagans for centuries, but Gerald Gardner, who is often thought as the father of modern day Wicca, would not publish Witchcraft Today and introduce Wicca to the world for 8 more years. However, there were certainly pagans in England and elsewhere in 46, but we'll cut him some slack here. Rabbi Wolpe has no such excuse. In a letter to the editor of The Atlantic, shared on Facebook, I have that link, and I will be reading that as well. Anthropology professor, and I'm going to butcher her name, Dr. Sabina Magliocco, I believe, criticizes his strawman definitions and lack of knowledge about paganism, both old and new. Among other things, she says it is shocking how ignorant Wolpe is about classical paganism, a topic about which there is a vast academic literature usually well covered in rabbinical schools. Hello, fuzzy butts. And his "I wasn't talking about you" is no excuse, despite what a few pagan and pagan adjacent people may have claimed. The meaning of the word pagan has shifted over the past 75 years or so. More importantly, his main thesis, the moral and ethical superiority of monotheism, does not hold up under careful examination. If he is unclear on his definition of paganism, he's also equally as vague on his definition of monotheism. David Wolpe is a rabbi in the conservative tradition of Judaism. He also speaks well of Christianity, if not always accurately. As Ms. Magliocco pointed out in her letter, the idea that the rich and powerful are favored by their god or gods comes straight out of Calvinism, not ancient paganism. There's a difference here. Wolpe doesn't even mention the second largest monotheistic religion in the world, Islam. Anybody shocked that he left it out? Though he does not use the phrase, his thesis comes straight out of the Judeo-Christian traditions. This is the post-World War II idea that Christians and Jews share a common heritage and common values, and therefore should be friends and allies, especially in the face of atheistic communism of the Cold War. So a lot of Jewish people dislike the phrase Judeo-Christian because it erases the theological and cultural differences between Judaism and Christianity, and it whitewashes centuries of Christian persecution of Jews. I agree. Things have changed since World War II. Things have changed so much since World War II. Many Christians and pagans and followers of multiple other religions respect and accept Jews as Jews, without resorting to the pathetic argument of deep down we're all the same. I myself do tend to resort to we do have more um, similarities than differences, but that goes beyond religion. Ugh. And those who still despise Jews, whether for cultural, religious, or political reasons, or just because they're hateful pieces of shit, are not going to be persuaded by a vague appeal. I can't talk. To a common monotheism. Honestly. That we're all children of one God is a theological proposition that may or may not be true. Obviously, I am one that does not fall into the true camp. I mean, come on. That we are all children of the earth, scientific fact. We do not know exactly how life on earth began. The ultimate answer may be naturalistic, might be supernatural. Get the salt. I tend to think the answer lies in animism and in the primacy of consciousness. But that's another discussion for another time. Let's see. Scrolling. Muskean attempts. Okay. We need no lawgiver to understand right from wrong. I see this argument frequently, usually from conservative Christians, and usually deployed against atheists, though occasionally against pagans. Yes. The argument, well, if you don't read the Bible, how do you have morals? I have heard that argument and it makes absolutely no sense to me. If you need the Bible to tell you what is right and what is wrong, there is something deeply, deeply wrong with you, in my opinion. Okay. In its crudest form, it argues that without threat of divine punishment, there's absolutely nothing to stop people from raping, murdering, and doing anything and everything, you know? Oof. If the fear of hell, I'm quoting directly from the article I'm reading, from the essay. If the fear of hell is all that's keeping you from turning into Jeffrey Dahmer, there is something seriously wrong with you. I definitely agree with that. Okay, Rabbi Wolpe makes this argument more eloquently in his closing paragraph, and I am going to read a direct quote from his essay. If we are nothing but animals, the laws of the jungle inevitably apply. If we are all pugilists attacking one another in a scramble to climb to the top of the pole, the laws of the jungle still apply. But if we are all children of the same God, all kin, all convinced that there is a spark of eternity in each person, but that none of us is superhuman, then maybe we can return to being human. Does that make sense to you? Never mind. We are animals, but we are social animals. Our survival, our success, and even our happiness are inseparably intertwined with the survival, success, and happiness of our fellow humans. Yes, we are most concerned with those closest to us, but the more we understand that we are all children of the earth, the wider our empathy grows. We are also intelligent animals. We have self awareness. At least most of us do. Apparently, this rabbi, we have the capacity for reason, abstract thought, and for the ability to project how our actions in the present will impact the future. So, whether we believe in many gods, one God, or no gods. I'm trying to work out a word here. It's a big one. Epistemology is the study of how we know what we know. What are our assumptions How do we examine evidence? And who do we trust? Philosophers and ordinary people have been debating this for as long as we've been human. Some conservative monotheists argue that we cannot know what is truly good unless a higher power tells us and then gives us rules to follow. To be clear, Rabbi Wolpe does not make this claim, but others who make similar arguments often do. The stories of our pagan ancestors are not scripture. They do not give us rules to follow. They give us virtues to embody and values to live by. When the stories speak of gods doing things that appear unvirtuous, they remind us that life is often complicated and unclear. Sometimes virtues have to be balanced against each other. Sometimes it's not possible to do the right thing, only the least wrong thing, i.e., the lesser of two evils. And these stories remind us that myths were never meant to be taken literally. The Bible is nothing but a book of myths. Religions of rules make things simple, even when they're difficult. There is some value to that. Religions of virtues require us to make our own decisions and then live with the consequences. I prefer this approach. Your beliefs do not make you a better person. Your actions do. At the core of Rabbi Wolpe's essay, and at the core of this response, lies this question. And another quote from the essay. The question, however, is not whether beliefs can lead us astray, as they all can, but what sorts of beliefs are most likely to lend themselves to respect for human life and flourishing. You would ask that. um, I think they're equally as bad. Me, that's my personal opinion. And as for Rabbi Wolpe's question, the people that I have known who genuinely have the most respect for human life and the flourishing thereof have not been conservative Christians or conservative monotheistic people. Note the word conservative there. I have known some stellar Christians who had the utmost respect for human life and wanted to see human life flourish. But generally, the conservatives that I have known, the only human lives they had respect for were theirs, or the ones that would benefit them. So that's been my experience there. Ancient paganism was brilliant and formed the foundation of modern Western society. Hit me. Well, not literally. What's your point? What's your thing? While you're typing. Um, ancient boop, boop, boop. Ancient paganism was brilliant and formed the foundation for modern Western society. It also gave us the Roman Empire in all its colonial brutality. I frequently discuss the theory of Bob. That is one thing that I will never forget. And I do agree with it. Monotheism of the kind this rabbi is pushing teaches loving your neighbor and caring for the stranger. I can appreciate that. However, it also your timing is impeccable, darling. It also gave us the Crusades, the Inquisition, and white Christian nationalism. Do we know what white Christian nationalism is in the United States? It's the American Nazi Party. We don't want that at all. My religion teaches me that the gods, all the gods, they call many people to worship and work with them in all sorts of different ways. If your way isn't my way, cool, groovy. Your kink is not my kink, that's okay. I am so not going to judge your religion by how it aligns with mine. I'm going to judge your religion by how it inspires you to live harmoniously with your community and with your environment and with the rest of the world. My religion teaches me to love the gods and the goddesses and to emulate their virtues, to love and honor Gaia, the earth, as our great mother. And it shows me that we are never powerless. Sometimes, even the smallest act, even if it's just the smallest act of kindness, can make a huge difference, a huge impact. And it also tells me that despite the fact that I am a flawed human and I am never going to be perfect, that's okay. Perfection is not required. Perfection is the realm of the gods. I am so not a goddess. But doing what I can, be it ginormous acts or just small, tiny acts like, giving a puppy a home, is required. Now, Sabina Magliocco's letter that she shared on Facebook. Oop. Do no harm. Yes. Okay. A response to David Wolpe, The Return of the Pagans, The Atlantic, 12/25/23. To the editor. As a longtime reader of and subscriber to The Atlantic, I was dismayed that you chose to publish David Wolpe's essay, The Return of the Pagans. This essay is misinformed and distorts both historical and contemporary understandings of paganism in ways that are profoundly damaging to both indigenous and revived religions. Wolpe never defines the word pagan. Instead, he appears to construct a straw man, using it to mean something akin to adulteress in his eyes. The problem is that the term pagan already has a meaning, one that refers to a number of religions. These include classical paganism, as practiced in the ancient world, non-monotheistic indigenous religions, and modern paganism, a collection of new religious movements that revive, reconstruct, and experiment with elements of ancient polytheistic worship. None of these embrace the values or ideologies Wolpe attributes to paganism. It is shocking how ignorant Wolpe is about classical paganism, a topic about which there is a vast academic literature usually well covered in rabbinical schools. For example, he says the Greeks taught the rich and powerful were favored by the gods. Nope, sorry, that would be the Calvinists. Concern for the poor and less fortunate did not originate with Judaism and Christianity. Greek and Roman religion had built-in methods for ensuring, for example, the redistribution of food from temple sacrifices to the indigent. Even informal practices, such as the Hecate's suppers left at crossroads, were intended to feed the hungry. Similarly, by attributing the quote, worship of the body to paganism, Wolpe distorts the fact that non monotheistic and indigenous religions tend to see divinity as immanent as well as transcendent. In other words, all living beings hold a spark of the divine. The gods are manifest in each of us. This idea is intended to inspire respect for all life forms. Indigenous religions, in fact, place primacy not on the individual as he asserts, but on relationality and community, broadly defined to include other than human persons. Hence, the Native American spirit animals. Wolpe also seems oblivious to the existence of modern pagan religions, a fast-growing movement now numbering in the several millions in North America alone. While diverse in their beliefs, modern pagans are inspired by ideals of divine immanence and relationality, which are closer to those of ancient and indigenous religions than they are to anything Wolpe describes as pagan. In a time when minority religions, including indigenous religions and alternative spiritualities, increasingly face bigotry and prejudice, it is disappointing that the Atlantic chose to publish this poorly informed and ill thought out piece. Sincerely, Sabina Magliocco, PhD, Chair, Program in the Study of Religion, the University of British Columbia, Vancouver. Yeah. I remember reading about the article, and I was just blown the fuck away that they published it. And I skimmed his essay, and I did not go to the Atlantic to read it. I was not giving them that click because it's just, who in their right mind? And the rub for all of this is he was invited to Harvard to be a part of their anti-Semitism group. I can't come up with the right word right now. In the wake of some gnarly bullshit that was going on campus, due to the Palestine, Hamas, Israel stuff. And the Atlantic asked him if he would be interested in writing something about the Palestine-Israel conflict. That is what this essay that they published from him was supposed to be about. And he decided to, instead of writing about what he was told to write about, to attack paganism. Why? The hell did we do to piss him off now? I do not know many pagans who, have gone out of their way to annoy this conservative rabbi. All we want to do is live our lives in peace. It's just, that's what we do. So, and as someone else, as it was said in here by the Sabina, I can't remember her last name now, at a time when non-mainstream religions are being attacked and persecuted and just tortured simply for being non-Abrahamic religion, not for those of us who are non-Abrahamic, celebrants. Why stir up the hornet's nest worse? We're already walking around with targets on our backs because we're not Christian or Jewish. I don't understand it. I am frustrated by it. And I mean, this happened on Christmas. This poor witchling back in Pennsylvania, their shop was threatened by the chief of police because he decided that because they offered tarot readings, they might maybe be, violating the law. And if they got a complaint about the tarot readings, they might have to investigate. Down in California, there's a homeowners association trying to refuse access to a park to a pagan group so that they cannot have public rituals or public gatherings. We're already being, shunned and attacked and all of this already. Why make it worse? And I mean, I understand that the Bible says to go out and spread the good word. I know this. But there is a difference. The Bible says to go out and share the good word, spread the good word. It does not say to cram the good word down people's throats. It does not say go out and if they will not convert to your religion, kill them. No, that is Islam. I have nothing against Islam. I have Muslim family. I have nothing against them. But to my understanding, that is what the Quran, not the Quran, but yeah, the Quran says. So, hey, we just want to live our lives in peace. I have yet, in all of my 46 years, I have yet to see a pagan try to convert someone to their religion. I have never tried to convert somebody. I have inadvertently converted somebody, but I have never tried to convert somebody. Okay, okay, I am stand corrected. Islam does not say convert or kill. Come here, puppy boy, I'm squishing you. All right, hi. Well, you're so good. Hi, sweet love. But yeah, I don't understand it. Why? What is so wrong with? Okay, it's the extremists, just like freaking Christian extremists. Extremists exist in every freaking everything. I don't care if you're religion. There are yoga extremists. There are Christian extremists. There are vegan extremists. Everybody hates the vegan extremists. I mean, doesn't the Bible also say live and let live, basically? Anti-vaxxers. That's another group. Yes. Doesn't matter what vaccine you're talking about. But oh my, that one's open. And it still has liquid in it. But, I mean, seriously, people. Why Why is it so fucking important to so many people that they cram their opinions down everybody else's throat? Yes, here I am on a fucking podcast telling you my thoughts and opinions on shit. But there's a difference. You know, you have the choice to listen to me. I am not cornering you and, berating you because you have a different opinion than I do and telling you how you are wrong and I am right and you need to think my way. I don't think I could do that to a person. I am not that type. But yes, I guess it is about power and control. Did you pick your religion just to piss me off? What is it? I mean, people, man. I don't understand people. Hello, baby. You okay? I just. Why? Am I genuinely that naive that I just do not comprehend why someone would do this? Because I can't. I just don't understand it. I couldn't do it. I I can tell someone that they are stupid for believing something. I can. Because there are some things that if you believe it, you really are missing a few cards. But I would never, I would never tell someone that I just, it's not in me. It truly is not. I am not that type of person, and I just so. On that note, I guess I have run out of steam. um, I have more links that I can share, and I will find the shadow link that I read the rabbi's essay at the Atlantic from. It was an MSN link, if memory serves, and I will share that. And where was I reading these from? I want to say it was Pathos. Yep, Pathos. Pathos is an awesome website, by the way. Um, I'm getting light. I'm getting reflection. Pathos has. Why am I trying to use my mouse on my freaking tablet? Pathos has so many different religions that you can read about. It's so awesome. So I highly recommend that website. But I will link a bunch the Pathos articles that I was reading. You distracted me. Yes, I love you. You're so good. And with that, it is Thursday, which means tomorrow is Friday. How is it already the end of the week? Tomorrow night is guided meditation. Yay. I will figure out what we're doing for guided meditation. And then Saturday we have the Veterans Day yoga class, which I'm going to be repeating. I have no idea why. Because I'm crazy. And then from there, we start all over again on Monday with our thingamajigger. Daily draw, that's the word I'm looking for. Yep, my brain is checking out. It is definitely time to call it a day. I will see you guys tomorrow for the daily draw, and then tomorrow night for our guided meditation. I hope you all have a fantabulous, wonderful, magical evening. I love you all. See you tomorrow night. tomorrow afternoon.